So the other day I was able to play and check out the most up-to-date build that was available for Battlefield 6, playing on Merrick Valley and Operation Firestorm with a whole host of weapons and updates that we'd seen since the beta. But while we talked about maps, modes, weapons, and such in that video, there were quite a few more changes and updates that we had seen in that build that we didn't quite get around to. Of that, including a deeper dive on classes and the intricacies of them. Things like trainings, gadgets, and more were all visible in what is likely to be the full listing and final state of those things for launch. Today we're taking a look at all of that and more, so drop your thoughts down below, drop a like if you enjoy the video, and make sure to subscribe for more Battlefield 6 and other FPS content. I'd love to have you in the community, as we got a real busy fall upcoming. But for now, let's get into it. So let's start out with the overarching architecture of the gameplay itself. Classes. So during the beta, we saw the basics of how things worked with classes. There's now an extra added layer of choice as we gear up for launch, having 2 training paths instead of 1 that we had available, and some of the things you'll see in terms of like the signature set of gadget, weapon, and traits are adjusted here and there. Some of this will be a recap from what we've seen in the beta because not everything has changed entirely, but we kind of have to mention that the one side of things to a two-sided coin in breaking everything down. So let's start out with the signature sets and the class trainings of classes. For Assault, the signature set is the Gadget of the Adrenaline Injector to give temporary boost in sprint speed, reducing explosive and incendiary damage while providing brief resistance to and clearing the effects of the flash and stun grenades. Assault has a signature weapon of assault rifles, which will have a faster draw time and you can fire sooner while exiting a sprint. And its signature trait is mission focused, which will progress objectives faster, including arming and disarming MCOM explosives, but also granting quicker cooldowns for your in-combat state, allowing squad mates to deploy on you faster. As for your trainings, you have 2 paths of Frontliner and Breacher now. A reminder, both of these training trees will overlap of that active ability. So you have 3 tiers of things to go for, and then the active ability carries in both of those training paths. Frontliner, your base tier 0, that passive that you have immediately, is Adrenaline Rush, allowing squad mates that deploy on you to gain the effects of the Adrenaline Injector for 2 seconds. Those effects also applying to you or your squad mates when deploying on your deploy beacon. Tier 1, that first thing that you end up gaining throughout the game as you progress with XP, is Soft Landing, which reduces impact from falling or jumping from heights. Tier 2 is your Quick Recovery, which is passive health regeneration that triggers 50% faster and provides a 50% improvement on healing, meaning that you heal faster and it's triggered sooner. And then your active ability for both trainings is Rally Squad, where you and your nearby squad members gain a temporary adrenaline effect that can be extended by getting kills. Notably, to this point, before we jump into the brand new training path here that we haven't seen, some stuff has changed, some has stayed the same. Like Soft Landing was previously the signature trait of Assault in the beta, but is now the Tier 1 reward for the Frontliner training. As for Breacher, on the other side of that skill tree, Tier 0, you come along with extra grenades as you spawn in, allowing you to carry 1 extra grenade on your person every single life. Tier 1's ability is the Agile Shooter, which allows for a reduction in movement speed penalties when firing while moving. And Tier 2 is Unrelenting Reload, which is 15% faster reloads for the Incendiary Shotgun and the Grenade and Breaching Projectile Launchers, requiring you to have those equipped when using them. And again, the active ability is that Rally Squad. Jumping over to the next class, Engineer, you have a signature set of the Gadget of the Repair Tool for repairing friendly vehicles and equipment, but it can also damage enemy assets. However, you do have to be aware it is subject to overheating if used for extended periods of time. Signature weapons for the Engineer class are the SMGs, where your proficiency will allow for improved hipfire control with SMGs. And your signature trait is the Mechanized Infantry, which allows for less explosive damage when near friendly vehicles and preventing friendly vehicles from being occupied by hostiles in the event that all of the crew in that vehicle will exit. You can also repair vehicle health to keep both effects active. As for your training, you'll end up having the paths of Anti-Armor and Combat Engineer. Anti-Armor comes along with extra rockets at base to increase the amount of rockets carried by 2. Your Tier 1 is a Launcher Proficiency, which reloads launchers 15% faster. And Tier 2 is Devastating Impact, which when damaging enemy vehicles, reduces their repair effectiveness by 50% for 10 seconds, meaning that in that span, enemies cannot get that much health back, as opposed to the full health it'd be able to get back. Combat Engineer, a Tier 0 base, is Gadget Fortification, which allows for permanent increases in max health after repairing a friendly gadget. Tier 1 sees Overheat Control, which allows for overheating buildup on gadgets and vehicle weapons to be 50% slower. And Tier 2 will allow for Vehicle Regeneration, which allows, while occupying a vehicle, the health regeneration to activate if above a critical damage state. Both of these then funnel to the active ability at tier 3 of Thermal Overdrive, which allows for 50% efficiency boost of the repair tool for 10 seconds. Now, as for your support class, your signature set comes along with the Gadget of the Supply Bag, allowing for resupplies for all nearby infantry with ammo and weapons and gadgets while allowing for more efficient health regeneration, especially under fire. The signature weapon are your LMGs, where that proficiency will allow for faster transitions to ADS and no sprint speed penalty when carrying an LMG. Your signature trait for support is the Squad Supplies, that allowing your squad mates to interact with you to gain health and ammo. Your training paths include Combat Medic and Fire Support. Your base tier 0 under Combat Medic is Urgent Aid, which allows for you to drag down soldiers 20% faster while also reviving them 2.5 seconds quicker. Tier 1, that first along the XP path, is Revive Recovery, which allows for passive health regeneration to be triggered when reviving a downed teammate, though incoming damage halts the effect for 1 second. And Tier 2 is Defense Focused, which allows for defensive gadgets to have a 25% resupply rate. The GPDIS intercepts 2 more projectiles before breaking. The MP-APS tracking duration is extended by 5 seconds, and the deployable cover takes 10% less damage. Fire Support, that training path, has a base tier 0 of Logistics Expert, which allows for faster ammo resupply when using a supply bag, a tier 1 Explosive Resistant, which allows for 25% reduction of incoming explosive splash damage while prone or shooting from mounted positions, and a tier 2 ability of Steady Aim, which allows for improved weapon control when shooting from a mounted position. All of these then will funnel into that final tier of the active ability of Restock Allies, which allows friendlies to heal and resupply for 10 seconds, and reviving teammates only takes 1.7 seconds in that radius around you. As for Recon, your signature set includes the Gadget of the Motion Sensor, this spotting nearby moving enemies, vehicles, and gadgets while marking their position in world and on the minimap for all team members. Enemy infantry can remain undetected while moving in crouch or prone positions, and the device will emit a sound audible to hostiles so they can take it out. Your signature weapon under Recon is your sniper rifles, where the proficiency allows for improved marksmanship skills, including reduced weapon sway, quicker rechambering of rounds, and better breath control for steadier aim. And your signature trait is the Aim Spot, which allows you to mark positions of enemies in the game world and on the minimap while looking at hostiles and ADS for team members. The time required to spot is dependent on factors such as movement and zoom level, however. As for your training paths, you have Sniper or Spec Ops in Recon, where Sniper's Tier 0 is Enhanced Perception, allowing for improved auto-spotting with 33% increased distances and 10% wider angles of detection from weapon crosshairs. Spotting is also quicker and lasts 3 seconds longer under this. Tier 1 is Target Acquired, which spots enemies when damage is inflicted, marking their position in world and on the minimap. And Tier 2 is Confirmed Kill, where enemy soldiers killed with headshots with a sniper rifle will not be able to be revived by teammates. And Spec Ops is your Tier 0 stealth tactics, that reducing the sounds you make when crouched or prone and also applying when performing takedowns on enemies. Your Tier 1 under Spec Ops is Gadget Awareness, spotting nearby enemy gadgets, marking their positions in the world and on the minimap. The ability, though, is inactive when sprinting. And Tier 2 is Low Profile, which allows your in-combat state to clear 1.5 seconds faster when going prone and reduces your spotting status duration by 33%. All of these funneling into the active ability of UAV Overwatch, which will call in a UAV to show you within a 100-meter radius and spot enemy combatants for you. So there's a lot of stuff that was added now with 2 separate training paths that you can end up taking, offering up a lot of variability in how you can approach each of these classes and giving sort of different gameplay opportunities to experiment around with. So honestly, I like seeing the dichotomies of how you can split each of these into 2 sides of the coin, however you want to take Assault, Engineer, Support, or Recon. But that's just your traits. That's the stuff that comes down to your base classes themselves. But a lot of what makes classes also comes down to gadgets. Assault will have 6, Engineer 10, Support 8, and Recon 6. So let's break all of these down. Your assault gadgets are your assault ladder, something now that allows you to traverse the world a little bit better, make some more flanks or outplays. You can end up putting that in either ramp mode or in ladder mode, where you can either walk up it or you have to actually climb up it. Ladder mode and that sort of more verticality, obviously taking the weapon out of your hand as you traverse up it. The X95 BRE is a breaching launcher. The M32 OA1 HE is an explosive launcher. The M32OA1 Thermo is the thermobaric launcher. The deploy beacon will allow you to spawn on a deploy beacon wherever you want to place it, so giving you the ability to tactically insert into an area that may have more engagements, put you closer to the objective, you name it, but choosing where you can spawn as opposed to on your squad or any of the designated spawn points in the base of the game. And the SS-26 is the fire shotgun, which has those incendiary rounds. Engineer, you have the MBT Law, which is an auto-guided launcher. It's an anti-tank missile. The SLM-93A is an air defense launcher targeting for aircraft and requires lock-on. The RPG-7V2 is an unguided rocket launcher, just an RPG here with that, your projectiles. The MAS-148 is a long-range launcher requiring lock-on, which is essentially your javelin. The M136AT is an aim-guided launcher, which requires you to aim at your target until hit, but you control where that projectile goes with your crosshairs. Your supply crate will resupply teammates with ammo and will speed up equipment cooldowns for vehicles. Then you get into some of the mines here for Engineer, which are your AV mine, which is an anti-vehicle mine. The PTKM-1R is an acoustic sensor AV mine, which will launch a payload at vehicles when triggered. The EOD bot is a remote-controlled robot that you can use for various different reasons within the game. And the M4A1 SLAM is a tripwire sensor AV mine. So a lot of course, explosive-based things here, or anti-tank or anti-vehicle equipment coming along with this. For your support, you start out with a defibrillator. This allowing you to, of course, quickly restore health and get downed enemies up, charge time indicating how much health they get back. You have the GPDIS, which is a grenade intercept system, basically a trophy system. And of course, one of those training paths allows you to have more charges on that, blocking 2 additional incoming grenades. The MP-APS is a missile intercept system, which will track and destroy larger projectiles like missiles, mortars, and tank shells. So very much so something that could be beneficial, but situational indeed. The LWCMS is a mortar, which is a portable mortar launcher. The M32OA1 SMK is a smoke grenade launcher. The SICH G1WP is the incendiary airburst launcher, where grenades will explode mid-flight. You have a deployable cover and then a supply pouch that will resupply teammates you can place down. And finally, Recon, with 6 of these, comes along with the laser designator, which are binoculars for enhanced spotting and marking capabilities. The Recon drone will spot gadgets through walls and can disrupt items. The Tracer Dart is a magnetic dart launcher to mark either vehicles, or you can shoot enemy personnel with it to track specific infantry. The Claymore is a claymore. The Sniper Decoy is that decoy that looks like a player. And then C4 explosives are, of course, C4 explosives. And that is all going to go into the larger, robust class experience. Of course, all of that being able to pick and choose what you want to create your class. And with 30 total gadgets, with all the different training paths you have now, the 2 sides of the coin for each of those classes, there is a ton of variability, I think, in terms of how you play and how you can interact with the world. Personally, I think that talking specifically about gadgets, Recon has maybe the weakest pool of the gadgets. Maybe that's just me, but there is a ton of different ways that you can interact with this. And of course, while it might be a bit more controversial, the open weapon system is something that allows for even more variability in how you approach different situations. So that is what we learned here out of this, and looks to be basically all that we'll see here coming at launch for the class system as well. So I'd love to get your thoughts and feedback on this. Do you like what you hear out of what we've seen so far for the class system and what they appear to be at launch? Do you like the gadgets, the training paths? Let me know. But that's where we're going to wrap it up. So drop your thoughts down below. Drop a like if you guys enjoyed the video. And make sure to subscribe for more Battlefield 6 and other FPS coverage. I would love to have you in the community as we gear up for a very, very busy fall here upcoming. But for now, that's going to wrap it up. Thanks so much for watching. Mine has been Espresso. I'll see you later. Take care and peace.